Hello and welcome back to the No Excuses podcast. My name is Anne and I live in Worcestershire in the middle of England with my husband Tom, who says hello. Today is Thursday the 9th of October and it's a nice, not cold but dull day. What would I know? I've not been outside yet. And it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I've got all my lights on. I'm hoping that it's good enough, from where you're viewing it from. It looks okay to me on the screen. I need to have a slurp because I came and started drinking my coffee and it was already a bit cold because I've been faffing about, of course. I've done nothing but faff then. I thought there was something black floating in my coffee. Extra protein. Today, as I say, it's episode 107. We're getting near the end of the year already. Save me, it's getting ridiculous, it really is. Got a couple of things to talk about. Last time I talked to you, there was an excessive amount of incoming. Just a little bit this time. Stay tuned. Right, let's get down to business. Have I forgotten to say anything? I am wearing my City Limits number 5, although I undid number 4, which was the yellow garter one, and I knitted up the ochre cardigan instead out of that same wool, which, has been out in the wardrobe all summer, and I've not worn it because I've not been out that much. So this is my house jumper, and it's the Mick Aston version because of the stripes and the colours. My sort of homage to him on Time Team, and it is knitted up with an advent, a dual gemstone advent inspired by Libby of Needle and Thread, who I've not heard from for months. If anybody knows how she is, can you let me know? I don't know whether she's decided not to, whether she's not too good, or whether she's busy doing other things, or whether she hasn't announced that she's not dying as far as I can tell. But her website's still up, but there's obviously nothing to buy. She's got such great ideas. I hope that we see her again at some point. But yeah, so this is 2 strands of 4-ply held together, and I used similar colours each time, so it's like a sort of mild effect. And then I used a greyish really, called Books Are Meant to Be Smelly. And then at the bottom, or on the cuff, I've edged the cuff in like a ginger colour, which is also one of her colours that I bought a jumper quantity in, and I've done the quite a deep hem in that. I won't drag it all out for you, but yeah, I really like wearing this. I've had it on for probably near a week. It is pilling a little bit for BFL, but I think that's because I'm wearing it all the time. I've been sewing and things. I've been moving maybe a bit more than I normally would in the chair. And I've got little bits of thread stuck to me from the sewing. But yeah, it's nice and warm. It's lightweight. The City Limits jumper by Tanny's Fibre Arts is a worsted or Aran weight jumper. And this is why I hold 2 strands of 4-ply. I've got plans to make another one or something similar. I might try a different pattern next time. This is like a top-down, raglan sleeved, easy peasy thing. So, and I think putting stripes in it certainly helps me to get on with it and finish it a bit quicker than if it's just round and round. You know how I feel about that. So yes, that's what I'm wearing. The double long, we'll call it that, has finished. It finished at the end of September, and that is where we're either doing colour work or holding 2 strands, some fluff maybe, or lace weight with a 4-ply, and I've had a lot of entries to that, and I will announce the winner in a few minutes towards the end. I don't know why. Other people do it, and I thought, yeah, why not follow suit? In fact, I got already in here. I did quite a bit of prep, a couple of hours of prep earlier today. I can't say this morning because I didn't get out of bed till just after 11. Here we go again. And not because I felt rough today. I don't feel too bad, actually. Touch wood. I'm not superstitious. So I did all this work picking up off Ravelry, Instagram and emails the entries to the double long and the accessory mail at the same time. That doesn't end until the end of this month. And then I forgot to pick a winner. So I asked Tom to pick a winner, and I'll tell you who it is. I came in here thinking I'd go back out, pick a winner. So, let me just make a note of that because I know who it is. And she might have actually won something from me a few years ago, or I've got... Anyway, bells are ringing. Don't know. Yes, the accessory mail ends at the end of this month, so get your entries in. I've had a few, and of course, a lot of them were put in both because people are knitting hats and gloves and things with two things together, or doing colour work for winter jumpers or hats. These are gorgeous hats from a book that was... can I say it was... Oh, I can't remember the name of the book. It's on Ravelry. This one lady is knitting different. Jane is knitting. She knitted 3 different hats, very different. And I think something to do with the west side of America, like the western coast. Do you know, I do so much spot on administration and research for this podcast. It's so professional. If I remember, when I'm doing the editing, I'll put the name of the book in because it looked like it might be interesting. No idea if it's available here in the UK. Anyway, as we've done in previous years, because the double along has finished, I actually said it then without thinking. Well done. Seasal, I can say it. I'd like to say to you that we're going to start this year's jump along. So I'm not going to put a year on it because it'll end at the end of March 2026, and the jump along, I need to find out what number it is more than you. The jump along 5-6 is where you can knit any adult size jumper, cardigan, top, as long as it's got some sleeves, and the rule is if it's a vest to go on the outside, tank top or whatever. I know some can do both. I'm not going to be that strict with the rules. Then that's fine, because vests that go over stuff are very popular at the moment. But otherwise, they need to be adult size clothing, not something like a cami that you'd wear underneath. I don't know why I've drawn that line. I just have, and I've kept to it the last couple of years. So I will start a thread. Could have done it while I was there this morning if I'd only think. I'll put a thread up on Ravelry, and we will use, I'll put the hashtag down below. It's probably going to be NE Jump Along 2025. I might do /6, see what I can do to make it different from the other years. Because we're so near the end of the year, but it only goes into the beginning of the next year. So, I don't know. The Jump Along. So, yeah, quite a few of you have participated in that. And I think it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? All the mails are a bit of fun. I never enter anybody's mails because I just forget. I forget to enter. So, there we go. Yeah, so get your entries, not socks, into the accessory mail. And I'll be picking a winner out at the beginning of November. I don't think I've got any more admin, have we? So let's get into the knitting, shall we? I need to swizzle sideways slightly. I have a finished... I lurch from side to side. I have a finished item. And it is my Lento. I love this. I've not worn it yet. In fact, I had great trouble trying to decide what was the back and what was the front. I had to look for the short rows in the end. But this is by, is it Jonna Helin? Helin. I put longer cuffs on it. I couldn't decide what length sleeves to do, so I thought, well, if I put a long cuff on, I can fold them back. Simple, innit, when you think about it. I've done a standard cast off. Yet again, my cast offs get on my nerves. I get myself annoyed because I try and think, let's try a new cast off. Let's try a stretchy cast off. Let's try a sewn cast off. But every time I try it, it looks horrible, and it actually I have done a sewn cast off on the bottom, and I think it looks really, really nice. But I don't know if I can show you my gammy hands. It's got like it's almost like a tube. It goes round. It hugs sort of the edge of the hem. Oh dear. So it looks quite nice. I think it does. Anyway, I don't know. And it looks the same from the other side. So that's the best I can do at the moment. What I decided to do, I don't know if you've heard of the Roik cast off, where they go through 3 stitches with a needle and thread, 3 stitches, take the last one off, 3 stitches, go straight through them from right to left, as if you purlwise type of thing, and then just lose the stitch that's at the end of the needle each time you go through. I did it slightly different. That I did go through 3, and then I went through knitwise on the last one and let that go, and it's given me this nice finish, and I quite like it. It's stretchy. I tried this on with a folded hem, and the hem bit where I'd sewn them together, and I very carefully tried to not make it tight, wouldn't go over my fat tummy. It's very fat, yeah. And I could feel this band around me lower tummy, and I thought, no, I'm not gonna. I shouldn't say it like that because it sounds like I've got a higher and a lower tummy. Anyway, we'll swiftly move on. So I undid that. That was just a sewing, you see, because obviously the sewing wasn't as flexible as the knitted fabric. It's not going to be, is it, really? So I undid stitch by stitch virtually, because it's like it's fluff and 4-ply together. So it's not always that easy to undo. So I undid sort of 8 rows stitch by stitch, and then I did a couple more rows and then did this cast off. And I recommend the cast off because it's very neat and it's quite flexible. But it's got, because you go through 3 and then back through the first one and lose it, so you end up going through most stitches 3 times. It's a bit robust. It's quite robust. It's nice. And I did that on the see, the necklines work with the folded hem, and I did that again on the cuffs, and they fold back nicely. So yes, so my Lento's finished. I haven't got time to weigh it yet, although I don't know whether that's going to make a difference, because I can never work out what your meterage is when you've got 2 things held together. Now, there was a formula somewhere when all this mohair started. I must stop pronouncing my H's. Mohair started, and I've not been able to find it since. I think it's simpler than you think. So, because I've finished that, did I start a sentence with so? I tell other people off for doing that. Because I've got some leftovers, excuse the crinkling, I want to offer these up for sale if anybody wants them, because I kept a little bit back. I had a little bit of the soft yarn, and I've got more than enough of the fluff. So this is a whole 100 grams of Yarnsmiths Merino sock superwash in the linen colourway. That's looking, to me, it might look different when I look at it on my laptop screen. That looks far brighter and more like a pale grey. It is actually a beige, a light coloured beige, very sort of normal, sort of bog standard neutral colour really. And these that's 50 grams, so that's a whole skein, and that's, I think that's 33, so that's sort of 2/3 of a skein as well. And these are from Zakami, and their colourway Soul. I don't think it's a repeatable. Now there's enough here, I would say, to make a small shawl. And you've seen the colours it makes, knits up as. So the sole is 75% alpaca and 25% silk, and it's 400 metres for 50 grams. So you've got 83 grams there. You've got more than enough to make a small shawl, hats and maybe gloves as well. And I'd like to offer that up for, within the UK only, for £25 including postage, second class post. It is a bargain compared to what I paid for. I paid £9 for that, I think, and these were £20 each. So, you know, if anybody's interested, please let me know. And the first one I see, regardless of whether it's on email or Instagram, private message or YouTube, they will get it. But I need to keep it in the UK only because postage is getting very high nowadays, and I think with the postage you'd probably lose the advantage of me giving it at a good price. I did this, I sold the remnants of the test knit I did earlier in the year, and that went just up the road in Kidderminster. So yeah, let me know. It'll come to you fairly shortly if you're interested. Very nice to knit with. I've not worn it yet, and I'm not going to block the Lento because I like how it looks, and I'm probably going to be wearing it to the Stafford Wool Gathering. So, okay, let's talk about something else, shall we? Last time I showed you the Temu. I had all that incoming, which was quite naughty, really. I showed you the grey, almost purpley lilac-y colour, and this sort of lovely, it's more brown than grey, but it's called hemp grey from Temu as well, 100% merino, and it's lovely and squishy. And I've knitted a bit of a swatch, going through my zings trying to find 3 different sizes. It's far too long, this is, to manage. This one, did I disappear off the side then? You just rotate me slightly. Okay. And what I've done 3 different sizes, cast on 40 stitches, and I've done 3 different size needles, and I've denoted them by either a pearl bump or a hole. So the pearl bump is the hole number, and the holes are 2.5. I don't know what I'd do if I had a 0.25. I hadn't thought about that. So this one is on a 1, 2, 3, 3.5. You won't be able to see the difference anyway on the screen. The colour's quite nice. It feels nice. It's not horrible. It's quite firm at that gauge. I'm knitting on a, what am I on at the moment? 4. So I'm on a 4 at the moment, and that feels nice. And I think I'm going to do, I think I've got a 4.5 out as well. Yeah. So I'm going to do a bigger swatch and then see what gauge I like the best, or the fabric feel I like, and then go from there, because I've got enough to knit a jumper, I think. This does feel a bit sticky when you feel it on its own. It's got tiny, I don't know if you remember, it's got tiny sequins in it, and you're catching the light. And you can see them in there close up. So maybe, I mean, another Lento might be nice out of this. It would certainly look nice. I haven't got masses of that, but then I didn't, you know, I've still got yarn left over from my Lento, so 400 grams, I think I've got 500 there. It should be plenty for me to make another Lento or something on 6mm, so maybe I should have started doing a larger needle to begin with to see what that looks like, but I might go on to 6mm after trying the 4.5, or undo it and then do it on a bigger needle, because I think this is a bit, the bottom one definitely is too firm for what I'd like. But anyway, so I have actually done a swatch. Go me. Oh dear, this is rare for me. I did it really not to decide on gauge. I did it to decide on feel, to say. I prefer to get the feel I want and then decide what, then count the gauge and then look up the pattern. But then do I knit to gauge? You see, this is it. But once I find the pattern, if I'm already knitting to the gauge, I should be sorted, shouldn't I? If only life was simple. I'm going to mess it up somewhere. And that's being kept in this lovely rabbit bag. And I don't know who made this. I've got a feeling it might be from Saffron Blue. Cute. I've made a bit of progress on my Ranunculus. I need to try it on, or I needed to compare it to my other Ranunculus to see how long I need to make it without trying it on. Putting all those stitches on a piece of scrap yarn is a pain, but you know, a necessary one. Well, when I did my see my thingy there, October. This is from that book of the Treasury of Victoriana stickers, which is gorgeous. But when I wrote them, I thought, I haven't got any incoming, but I lie, you see, I'm just an out-and-out liar. Watch your headphones. I went into Worcester with my friend, and we had a lovely day. I'll talk about it now. We had a lovely day. She came down from Leeds and stayed overnight. Stayed a couple of nights actually in Worcester, in the Premier Inn over by the cricket ground, with her husband, and then they were going on to Cardiff and seeing some of his family in South Wales. And my friend Liz and her husband Dave, I went to school with both of them, so Michelle knows them. They had dinner with her the night before, and then she saw me on my own the following day, and it was lovely. We had a nice day out. The meal was okay. My tummy decided it might play up, but it didn't in the end. But I'd had 2 cocktails, but I couldn't manage the glass of wine that I'd ordered with my dinner. It came free, and I couldn't manage that, so Michelle had that. So yeah, we had a couple of coffees, and it was a really nice day to catch up, and hopefully I'll see her twice next year. Yes, Michelle, twice. I know she sometimes watches me, and I'm going to make her a shawl. It should be nice, because I love making shawls. One of the things I wanted while I was out was some long pins for my sewing. And I noticed that some of my pins are getting really, really blunt. I got some curtain lining, which is quite thick, as backing for my some of my bags, and I was finding them difficult to get through. And I don't want to cause holes in my sewing. They're wonky enough. So I went into the House of Habit. It's in the Market Hall on the back street of Worcester, down the Shambles. And I like to support her. I usually buy felted tweed, 1 or 2, when I go in there, because I want to do a colour work felted tweed. And this time I've got barn red, so she's got the barn red out. I don't think she's got every single colour, but she's got a lot. She's a tiny, tiny shop, and this big wheelchair takes up most of it. She has to move the furniture. So this is felted tweed, and it's colour number 157. I don't know if it's got a name. They don't name them on the warband. It's slightly orangier than on the screen showing, because the barn red is sort of a browny red or reddy brown. This has got the usual flecks of blue in it. Tweed. I love felty tweed. When I wear it, I think knit something else in it, and then I just cast on something else. I need to do, because I've been buying these balls one or two at a time for the last probably 3 years. I've got lots of felty tweed. I've got a sweater quantity in the barn red that my mum and my sister bought me for Christmas about 4 years ago. I really need to get it out and knit it up because I love wearing it. So, and of course, if you want that gradient look or a nice colour work look, they've got so many colours that it's an easy choice to make, really. A bit like Holst Gone. You know, they're super soft, but I prefer this to if I knit it on a, they call this a DK, but knit it on a 4-ply and it felt slightly felted tweed, then it's a lovely lightweight warm garment to wear. Then I think a nice cardigan would be good. Apparently they're bringing out some Cafacet inspired, or he's been involved with them, colours soon, and she said she's going to stock most of them, I think. So I need to go back in there or look online and see what Rowan have got, and then go back in and buy a couple more. So I bought those, and I don't know, I have these sort of flights of fancy, and I think, oh, I need that. Oh no. Does it make me pink? Or does it suit me? It does, doesn't it? You see, I've got yellow eyeshadow on today, or orange eyeshadow. I'm nearly 65 and I don't care. I shall wear what I want. So that, this is Kidsilk Haze, obviously. 25 grams, and it is colour... can't read it. 680. And I wish then, I nearly wrote to her and said, can I have some more of this? Because I just love that colour. But I need to find something to put it with. I should be looking at Stafford wool show. I need to look at what I've got already. And I'm thinking, because the Lentos work so well with the neutral, with the sock yarn, and you let the fluff sing, there's no point them clashing. Although my Felix's work quite well, but that was a plain fluff with a coloured yarn. Anyway, oh, it's gorgeous. I don't need any more. I know, Mother. I know. No, you don't have to tell me. Anyway, Mum, is my fringe looking a bit better today? Because it looked terrible when I just had it cut yesterday. It was like straight across. I look a bit like Jim Carrey out of Dumb and Dumber. Not a lot like him, obviously. A bit like him. Okay, so those are my incoming. And I did have the Craft House Magic Liberty Fat Quarters, but I've put them away. So you can't see them. Sorry. And that's the knitting, etc. Now we're going to talk about Advent, please. And then I'll talk a little bit about activity. And then I'll let you go. But you can go at any time, you know that. You don't have to listen to my waffle. Advents. I've completed all the bags. They're behind me. And I've got baskets in the cupboard ready to go. But when I calculated it, when I added it all up and went through my notes, if you remember, I seem to have lost my master set of notes. I've done them all again. I've gone through each source, Ravelry, Instagram, people asking for advents on the mainly episode 100. So some people say they're interested, some people said yes. If you said you're interested, I need to know if you want to have an advent of me, purely because I have been very lax in following things up. I'm already a month behind, or nearly 2 months behind what I wanted to be, but all the minis are wound. They're in the cupboard. I can start packing them up tomorrow. All the bags are made, apart from I've had to order a bit more foam, because my idea was that I got rid of all the Bosal foam that I had, so I keep my hands still. And it would use all that up, and then I wouldn't need to make any more baskets. But I need to make at least 3 baskets. So I've ordered a bit more Bosal, and that's not a problem. I can make them quite quickly. I've already got like 4 to send out, so I will send those out overseas to the people who are have asked me overseas. I don't know whether anybody in the US has asked for an advent offhand, because again I can't remember everybody that's written. If you're in the US, if I look at the Royal Mail site, it looks like it's okay to post to you. I don't know how much it's going to cost, so I need to look into that. I'm going to make an advent up, wait it, and then I'm going to see. But I don't know. I think I maybe got one person that said they want an advent from America, not from the Canada. That's fine. It's just from the USA at the moment. It looks like I'm okay posting, but we have to agree that, you know, there is a risk factor, because unlike, I'm going to ask one of the dyers that I know that may be posting out again to the US if they can advise me. So, because I'm not a business, you see, I don't want to pay any business tariffs or anything, but apparently you have to pay regardless now of what you're sending. So it's a bit of an unknown quantity for me, because I don't post out enough, and I've got no sort of tax rebate or any, you know, anything I can offset against it. So it's purely just for fundraising, and I don't want to lose any money on it if I can. It's already costing me money. I mean, let's be honest, I do it because I really enjoy it. And I give the money I make to the Stroke Association, well, most of it anyway. So it's not like, and I don't feel hard done by, you know, I do it because I love doing it. So yes, and I've got to weigh a basket as well for one of you lovely ladies in Canada. Haven't forgotten, that's written down. But I do, for the people who said yes or interested very early on, if you can tell me whether you definitely want an advent. The people who, I've got them with me, I'll put them on the screen. Those people who said they were interested but haven't actually said yes. It doesn't matter if you don't want to, you change your mind. You know, it's not held against you. That's fine. But on here, I've got a couple of people I've made a note of that I've asked them for their emails. I've not heard from them. If you've changed your mind, that's fine. You know, I'm not chasing you up for money. I just want to know whether you're Rowan. So on episode 100, when I talked about the advents, Daisy Dreamer 72 would like a basket. No advent. That's okay. But I need to know where you are, and I need your email address, please. Depending on whether you're overseas or not, depends on when I post to you. And yeah, so Daisy Dreamer 72. I can't see where you've been in contact with me. I had somebody called Martha who wrote to me the other day saying, can you send something to a friend or family instead of me? And I'm like, I don't know your name. It doesn't link up with anybody's name on. I replied to her, but then it said it was undeliverable. So I'm hoping they haven't put spyware on my phone or anything. Be so careful these days. Sorry. And the other person I haven't heard from is Dressmaking Diva 5337, and she's asked for a 24-day advent. Again on episode 100. So I'm asking, please, can you get in touch with me at spaknitsandcrafts at gmail.com. I'll put it on the screen. I need your email address so I can talk to you about paying me, and I need your address so I can post it to you. And they're going to list the other people on the screen where they said yes, but I just want to firm it up with you. I know a lot of you, like Glenda, have said yes, definitely. Some people who buy them off me every year have said yes, definitely. That's fine. I've got your address. I should be asking you for the money soon. It's just a couple of people. Sometimes it's people that I've not sent stuff out to before, you see. So, and it's all my fault. I lost my master list. And then I had to go through it all again. And like I said to somebody the other day, I was a senior business support officer. I had a team of 4 people underneath me. No, 9 people underneath me. And I was a reasonable administrator, especially on the computer. I've gone to pot. 10 years later, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't mind if you've changed your mind. That's fine. We're living in certain times and everything's got so expensive. It's ridiculous. The winner of the double-long is Sue Godfrey. Hello, Sue. Sue lives a bit north of me, up the road. Sue has been a long-time supporter of the podcast, and she made a lovely slip-over, and she made some gloves as well, I think. And was it a hat as well? Because I had to go and see. I haven't written down what she made, but yeah. Beautiful. And thank you very much. Tom picked your number. You were 18 on my spreadsheet, and that's what Tom said. So you have won the double-long. I'd like to hear from you to make sure I send you something you like. So send me your favourite colours, please, on the email address, please, Sue. And that would be lovely. I can post out to you ASAP. Let's see now. And thank you for everybody. I had some really, really good patterns that I've had to add to my favourites for the double-long, because I've got a lot of fluff and all colour work I want to do. So I want to do something out of the Only Yoking book, and I want to do something out of I want to do one of Rachel Eiley's book patterns as well. Eiley? Oh, calm down. Let's see what we did last time I spoke to you. Was the 17th of October, 17th of September. Was it? Yeah, I think so. Just check that. Yeah. Since then, I went funeral the following day, and it was nice in a way because you see people that you've not seen for years. And my sister came up from Whitney and took my mum. Tom drove me and sat outside in the car, phoned his mum and had a good chat to her while we were in the service. And then towards the end, we were just saying goodbye, and I realised I needed a wee. I had to break back into because it had shut up. They'd obviously had the last service of the day. It was all shut up, so the cleaner let us in. I didn't think I was going to make it home otherwise. Oh, I'm stupid. And then the following day I went for a blood test, which was actually quite good this time. Again, she got it out of my foot first time round, after prodding them, I don't know, I'm not so sure. And then on the Monday, I went to, where did I go to? I went to my nerve test, didn't I? Well, that was a Saturday, and for some reason I've not got that on here. Oh no, I went to the nerve test at end of thing. I went to see about my boots. Don't worry, I'm losing it. Yeah, I went for the blood test, that was fine. And on the Monday, I met with Michelle on the 23rd, and that was really nice. As I said, we went and went into All Bar One and had a meal. And I had what I always have, which is quesadilla, chicken quesadilla, and they came with fries. They didn't have my apricot sour cocktail anymore, which I really, really like. And I need to find a way of making that, because I've got the apricot syrup and I've got the amaretto. It's just what mixer you put with them. So if you've got any idea and suggestions, let me know. And then 2 days after that, I went back to see my lovely doctor. And I did say to her, I said, I really appreciate you listening to me. My friend Michelle was a senior physiotherapist. She had a long career as a physio. So I told her my symptoms, and she suggested suggested a new thing, which is stenosis of the lower spine, because of all the hip pain I'm getting and my legs pain up and that. So I told my doctor, and she took me seriously. And she said, well, normally it goes when you start walking. She said, but of course you're not walking. So the tight, it's where the spinal column gets too tight. Everything, nerves catch and things, and everything gets squashed together. So yeah, she was very helpful. And now I'm being referred up to the Royal Orthopaedic, which is our closest orthopaedic specialist hospital. It's got a very good reputation. Worldwide even, there are other orthopaedics around the country, and they're specialist hospitals that haven't yet, or maybe hopefully won't be, merged into the bigger hospitals. I'm not expecting them to operate on me at all. In fact, I would fight that. I just want to know what's going on. I want to know why I'm in so much pain. It comes on out of nowhere and lasts for varying times. Drugs don't touch it sometimes. And I want to know if it's going to get a lot worse, because I'd rather be forewarned is forearmed. Yes, I could lose weight. I should find it very difficult to lose weight. I like eating, and I don't eat a lot for an adult, but I don't move. And it's not an excuse, it's a reason. It's anyway. She was very good, and she's given me, we've agreed on the drugs that I'm taking, and she said, if you want to come and see me later in the year, that's fine, but otherwise, I'm always pleased to see you. That was it. I've got other things I need to talk to her about, but no, I should probably stay away now for a while. It's not that I dislike, she's lovely. I said to her, thank you, for listening to me, genuinely. I said, I don't mind coming here and talking to you. I said, you give me all these drugs that are very, very, they're controlled drugs, and they're strong. I said, you trust me with them? And I said, I thank you for that. Oh, and my blood pressure's gone down. It's now back to normal. So that's good. And then, I'm going to tell you this, right, from my point of view, about what happened when I went to collect my boots. Well, I didn't take them home with me. I went to get my boots, the ones that are got a different lining in them, and they're black. You can only have black, and they're just for me to wear at night, not in bed. Although I do sometimes wear me in bed if I think I've got a dodgy tummy. I want to go to bed quicker, but no, usually I don't wear my boots in bed. So we met that lovely Nigerian. We found out he was. That he talked so softly, but luckily I had Tom with me this time to tell me what he'd said. He said he got most of it, but I am going deaf. Anyway, he was lovely. He was on his own, and he says I can have another pair. Orange. Actually, not that distant from that. Maybe a bit duller. A bit like my new handbag. Everything's orange at the moment in my world. I'm having an orange and pink fad. Came my name in. We were early. We parked over at the countryside centre, which you're not supposed to do. We walked through by the woods up to, and where I go is the other side of the main hospital. So you can never estimate accurately how long it's going to take you to walk there, if you don't do it very often like we don't. Got there, gave my name in, and as I turned round in this chair, Tom was with me, as I say, and turned round, have a seat, turned round, and this lady had come in behind me, and she was actually going to be seen before me, fine, and she went, oh, bless you. I said, sorry? And she went, oh, bless you. I said, what a strange thing to say. She said, she did take the hint. I was like, at her. She said, yeah, my husband says I say strange things. And I was thinking, well, perhaps you need to stop saying strange things. But I didn't want to be... She really, really annoyed me. And when I thought about it afterwards, like a lot of times when we get into, funny situations, I wish I'd said this, that and the other to her. Not to be horrible and nasty to her, but to think... You can't go around saying things like that to people. It was almost like I turned round and it was like, oh my God, that's probably a wrong choice of word there, but, oh, this person needs blessing. Why? You know nothing about me. You don't know what my life's been like or anything. And I find it really patronising. And say this right, I don't get offended easily. I don't, because I've had a lifetime of people throwing stuff at me. I don't get offended easily, but it's really irritated me. And then she was telling me what was wrong with her. I'm not interested. And luckily, probably for her, Tom kept stum, didn't say anything. And I daren't look at him. But she was talking, and I looked at her and I thought, I don't want to engage with you. You know, you've already been stupid. And I can't explain it, really. But I'm only telling you because I find it really weird how people treat me sometimes. You know, I'm a short, fat person in a wheelchair. And people make assumptions all the time. I'm used to that. Even professionals, you know, even medical professionals. So I wasn't very happy about that. But I mean, I didn't do it. She came out afterwards and she was trying to talk to me again. And I was like, I don't want to engage with you. You know, I don't know you. If she hadn't said that, I probably would have talked to her. But I thought she was weird. Just a weird lady. And I don't want to be... Anyway. I don't know whether you understand where I'm coming from, but... I can't be nasty to these people, very rarely. I did tell a very young child to pee off once, but I was young as well. So it doesn't count, does it? I was in my early teens, and it just upset me, because I wasn't fat. That's the point, right? I was walking around C&A with my sticks, and I was only about 4 foot tall, waddling along, and this little child said, oh, look at that little fat lady. Well, you know, out of the mouths of babes. But I wasn't fat, that was my point. I was little. I wasn't fat then. Right, we'll leave it. I don't know, I might take that bit out, but I might not, because I think it's about education as well. I don't like people who simper. No, can't deal with them. Right, anyway, so I should be able to get some orange boots in the not too distant future. I've got to go back there when they put the sole on. The sole wasn't on them at the time. They put a big chunky heel on, but he said you won't be able to stand up on these, so I didn't even try because I knew it might be disastrous. What else have we done? What time I am? 50 minutes. Didn't go to tenor. We didn't have one. I've had several birthdays, and then my friend Elaine came to visit me on Saturday. Her husband went to Worcester. Sorry, excuse me. Went to Worcester to watch them play rugby. Him and his dad, and dropped Elaine off. We went into our little town centre and had coffee and chatted, and 3 hours went by and she came back here and we chatted, and then Ian and his dad came back and they stayed a few minutes, and that was nice to see her on her own, because I don't get to see her on her own very often. And Ian said hopefully he might be coming to another match before the end of the year, so we'll see. I've been sent to form by the doctor's surgery to do a hip score. It's a bit like filling a pit forming, where you get so many points for the depending on how bad you are. And I've had to put on it, this isn't relevant to me. You know, how bad are you when you walk around? How bad are you when you do the housework? So I've had to write, you know, this isn't relevant to me. But they add it up, and then they send the hip score on to the hospital. So it's up to them what they do. They asked me for my BMI, and I went, I'm very overweight. I said, and I can't stand, so I've got no idea what my BMI is. Probably through the roof. Yesterday I had my haircut. And yeah, and that's it really. That's the end of my activities. So I hope I haven't missed anything out. No. Get this up hopefully tonight, and over the weekend people who want to buy an advent will be hopefully getting in touch with me, or if I've already got in touch with you, that's fine. and we'll go on from there, shall we? Yeah, and I will see you very, very soon, in about a fortnight, give or take a few days. You know what I'm like. Take care, please. Let me know what you've been working on. I like to look up all these different patterns and see what you've been doing, because I find it fun, and add to my own wish list or queue or whatever. Don't really use the queue on Ravelry. Yeah, you take care, and we'll touch base. No, that's wrong, isn't it? We'll speak soon. Okay, take care. Bye.